It is finally happening for Bitcoin. After this W pattern, we are now seeing a shift from a bearish trend into a bullish uptrend. So this is looking very bullish for Bitcoin. We're also breaking out of this huge falling wedge formation, but about this later in the video. There is a lot of interesting news about the Bitcoin ETFs and the Ethereum ETFs, but also a lot of interesting news hitting the markets, and Michael Saylor bought another huge stack of Bitcoin, which I will talk about in this video. I will also have a look at the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index and a lot of other interesting charts for Bitcoin, which I will discuss. So please like the video because it will help this channel a lot, and in the description in this video you can find the links to my free Telegram group and also to my Twitter channel where I post a lot of updates about Bitcoin, crypto and altcoins. And with that being said, now let's dive right into the charts. So as we can see, Bitcoin shifted from this bearish trend into a huge bullish uptrend because we created a W pattern, which is a typical bullish reversal pattern because we are creating equal lows, and now we are seeing this bearish trend shifting into a bullish uptrend. We are creating higher highs and higher lows. So we just made a higher low, and let's see if Bitcoin can continue this bullish momentum to the top side and create a new higher high. We also pumped above this huge resistance neckline of this W pattern, which was very bullish. So we could see a little bit of a retest after we broke this resistance to test it as support. So we can now see potentially see a little bit of a continuation of this bullish uptrend. So Bitcoin is already close to the $86,000. So let's see if we can even see the $90,000 in this week. And yesterday, Michael Saylor announced that he acquired another 3,459 Bitcoin with MicroStrategy, and he acquired it for $285.8 million. And yeah, this is another big stack of Bitcoin that he bought. So if we're looking at this DCA portfolio, we can see that every time we see a green dot, he bought more Bitcoin. And in the last few months, he bought a lot of Bitcoin, and even he bought at the all-time high. So this is the perfect DCA portfolio, and currently he is holding a total of $45.48 billion in Bitcoin, and he is up for almost 27% in profits, and that's almost $10 billion. So yeah, of course he is still buying the dip, and I think if he is buying the dip, you should do too. So yeah, this is very interesting to see, and I think a lot of other companies will follow his strategy. So yeah, this is interesting to see, and I think we will see more bullish pumps in the coming days. And zooming out to the 4-hour time frame, we can see Bitcoin is running into huge resistance, and this horizontal level has seen a lot of interactions with the price, and currently we are trying to break this horizontal resistance, and it looks like the Bitcoin is going to do it. But of course we are seeing a lot of resistance coming into the market. So if Bitcoin can, for instance, pump above this horizontal level, confirm the break, and then I'm going to wait for a bullish retest because this previous resistance needs to be tested as support, and from there we can aim for higher targets. So from the lows, Bitcoin shifted from this downtrend after this W pattern into an uptrend. We're now seeing higher highs and higher lows. So let's see if Bitcoin can create a new higher high potentially, and then of course at this bullish retest we are creating a new higher low, and that of course will be a very interesting place to step into the market and aim for higher targets. So for now, at this resistance area, be careful with longing the market and also buying, because this is a very interesting level to gain for Bitcoin first, and we need to first see a gain because resistance is also very strong, and we could also see a little bit of a rejection coming in to the market, and that we have to aim for lower prices a little bit. But of course we are still in this bullish uptrend, so the trend is your friend until it ends, and I hope Bitcoin will create a new higher high and a new higher low. And yesterday the Bitcoin ETFs had finally a positive day. It was only $1.5 million that was bought yesterday in total, but we saw that the BlackRock ETF bought for $36.7 million, but the Fidelity ETF sold for $35.2 million. So eventually we saw finally a positive day for the Bitcoin ETF, so this is yeah, looking great. So let's see if we can continue this bullish streak, and of course at the cumulative inflow we see this huge spike to the top side. We came all the way to the $41 billion total cumulative inflow, but now we are currently at the $35.5 billion. So let's see if we can continue this bullish uptrend. And having a quick look at the Ethereum ETF, we saw another bearish day because the Fidelity ETF, Ethereum ETF sold for $7.8 million, and yeah, only the 21 shares Ethereum ETF bought for $1.8. So in total we saw almost $6 million of outflow, and this was of course having a little bit of a bearish effect on Ethereum. So let's see if the rest of the week can turn things around for the Ethereum. And last week I discussed this huge potential bullish divergence on the daily time frame for Bitcoin, I stated that we saw lower lows on the price chart, and I also said that we saw higher lows on the RSI chart, and this indicated a huge bullish divergence, and it's playing out like clockwork. And I've been warning you about this bullish divergence. So we're now seeing a huge spike to the top side, and this bullish divergence played out perfectly. So you were warned in my videos if you watched them, and of course I also talked about this on my X channel. So yeah, this bullish divergence is playing out like clockwork, and that's exactly how you can see if there could potentially be a bottom for Bitcoin. So the selling pressure was cooling off because we saw higher lows on the RSI chart, and on the price chart we saw lower lows. So eventually we're seeing this spike to the top side, and this bullish divergence played out perfectly. And looking at this chart on the daily time frame, we can also see that this falling wedge finally broke out to the top side. We're now seeing a clear break, and of course we could also potentially see a little bit of a throwback to retest this resistance as support. So I'm waiting for this bullish retest to happen, and then I'm going to enter the market, and that will be around $80,000 or $81,000. So if Bitcoin comes all the way back to this level, I am going to enter the market in the long, and of course then I'm going to aim for higher targets, and the top side of the formation will be confluent with the breakout target, and that will bring Bitcoin all the way back to the $108,000, aka the previous all-time high. So yeah, for now this is looking very bullish, and let's see if after this bearish downtrend we can now turn things around and see a bullish uptrend unfold. And having a look at the fear and greed index, we can still see that Bitcoin is still in fear. We are at 38, and last week we were at extreme fear. So buying in extreme fear, as I said, is always a perfect thing to do, because yeah, when things are in extreme fear, a lot of people are very emotional, but eventually I think we will return to greed, and also extreme greed. And by buying in stages of extreme fear has always been very, very profitable in the past. So yeah, I think buying last week was very good to do, and this was in extreme fear. So we're now in the stage of fear, and almost in the stage of neutral. So let's see if we can see more fear of more greed coming into the market, because then means that Bitcoin is also going to rise in price. And zooming all the way out to the Bitcoin weekly chart, we can see that Bitcoin bounced perfectly from this huge support trend line. A year back in 2023, we created the support area, and now we're seeing a perfect bounce to the top side. So this is exactly what we wanted to see, and let's see if we can also create a new higher high, because we are still in this bullish uptrend on the weekly time frame. We are creating higher highs and higher lows, and this higher low has just been made. So let's see if Bitcoin can also create a new higher high, and that of course will bring Bitcoin back to a new all-time high. So yeah, this is looking very bullish eventually. So once you are in doubt, you have to zoom out, because eventually on the weekly time frame we are still in this huge bullish uptrend to the top side. So I think we will just see a continuation of the trend, unless we are going to see a lower low and a lower high unfold, and that means that we're going to break through this support area. So for now, Bitcoin is creating this higher low potentially, and just like we saw here, this higher low was very perfectly made, and we saw a new all-time high to the top side. So let's see if we can see more top side, and we are still in stages of fear. So at stages of fear, once we are at the $85,000 is very beautiful to see, because also we were at stages of extreme fear here, and also as stages of fear here. So being at stages of fear here is very bullish to me, because eventually this higher low will be confident, and we will see a new all-time high in the coming months, in my opinion. So I think this is looking very bullish. So once you are in doubt, don't panic, because you have to zoom out on the charts. So again, please like the video if you think it was useful. Don't forget to follow me on my Twitter channel, where I post a lot of charts about altcoins, bitcoins, and the latest crypto news. So you want to follow me there. Also, don't forget to follow me on my free Telegram group, where I share more insights about Bitcoin and other altcoins. So with that being said, I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.